7 uncles, 7 aunts, 17 cousins, and an entire neighborhood. And as luck would have it, we're all pretty merry. You have grown from a toddler. Okay, you might not like when I say this. You have grown from a toddler who would have one hand up his nose and the other in his diaper to a 6'1" tower of strength who is funny, just ask him, kind, and on top of it, on top of your game, and your father and I are truly so proud of you. Honestly, I'm not done. Settle in. On a serious note, it takes a village, and you have an amazing one. They have taken care of you. They have stitched you up. They have glued you. They have made icebox cakes with you. Not you guys, that's my family. You have told your Uncle Tom, I'm not playing your stupid games with you anymore, and he still played with you. We have stood on the sidelines and cheered you. We have taken you during summer so you could spend the summer in Vermont. They have entertained you in Canada. They've taught you how to play golf, eat Dunkaroos with you, which might add is gross, helped you with your schooling, motivated you to do your best, and given you an enormous amount of advice, bad and good. Okay, I'm done. Take all this kindness, Chuck. Spread it as you move forward on your journey. Listen to me. You are loved so much, and you will be missed so bad that I'm having dreams about having a 4th child. Something's wrong.
Oh boy.
Call your mother, and don't forget, I can still take you. Cheers!
Nice job, Rachel.
When I said to Georgia, get all your friends over here, she goes, why? And she looks at this, she goes, no! Oh, yes, Georgia, yes. Georgia. To the little girl who came screaming into this world and waited for nobody, including her father, I can honestly say that you haven't stopped dropping surprises on us since that very first day. While the story long, though the labor short, let's just say that while we had a plan for her arrival, she had a different one, and come hell or high water, we all had to embrace the unexpected and do things her way. For the past 18 years, we've learned to embrace the Georgia rule. Always a little leader, dictator, you have answered to no one and always done things your way. A few examples come to mind. The toddler at daycare who would pull her cousin Max cot closer to hers at nap time simply because she wanted him close. The 4-year-old who always kept up with the other little boys at Kids Place, Luke and Lou included, I don't know if you're both here, but and she forced them to play dolls with her or kick a soccer ball with her or basically do whatever she had in mind that day. The Kate nickname Barnacle G, which still holds to this day, as from her earliest years she would climb into an adult's arms and demand that they take her swimming no matter the ocean temperature, and they would always obey. The little girl with the curls who at 3 years old jumped into the deep end of the Nobles pool despite the fact that neither of her parents had been told that she had learned to swim, came up sputtering and smiling and doggy paddled her way to the ladder. That was, remember that was a real rush, wasn't it? You know, it was a little ticker going on that day. The 6-year-old who would beg to go and play with her best friend Charlie McGregor down the street, only to have the two of them argue like a little old married couple. Because who remembers the Bickersons? You two were so cute. The 9-year-old who saw an injustice in the world and launched a campaign so that a 3-year-old little boy was saved from the foster system and his grandmother got to keep her home. She spoke up and people listened. The middle school tween who, upon being mercilessly bullied, refused to back down, even when her parents suggested that maybe just keeping quiet might make her life a little easier. The 8th grader who agreed to dive for the high school despite having no coach and never having done it before, simply because the team said they always lost due to the fact that they had no divers. Sidebar, 5 years later, and Dedham High School's diving team is now one of the largest in the TVL. Where's Georgia? Not Georgia, Grace. Hey, Grace. Hi. Yeah, there you go. The freshman who had one of the first birthdays during lockdown, and when her friends and family were invited to do this crazy thing called a social distancing car parade, which no one had ever heard of, watched for a full 15 minutes as people from all over drove by with signs and music and horns and costume simply to celebrate her. The 16-year-old junior who abandoned 11 years of soccer, a sport she knew and was good at, to try out field hockey instead, and wound up often playing for the varsity team in her very first year. The first G of the Glass Girls, the one with the infectious laugh, who would walk through fire for any of her beloved sisters. The rose between two thorns, whose brothers would take anyone down who tried to mess with her, even though she's most likely never going to need that, because really, who would mess with Georgia anyway? The little girl her parents waited for and doted on. Georgie, Flower, Georgia B, and continued to be amazed by and in awe of. To that little firecracker, I raise my glass, which is over there. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I'm going to raise Jen's glass. I'm so thankful for you always making me laugh, always making me proud, and always making me happy. Continue to be fierce and strong and never back down. A wise woman once said, a strong woman looks a challenge dead in the eye and gives it a wink. And to that, Georgia, that is you to a T. I love you, I'll miss you, and I cannot wait to see you do what you do next. So buckle up, UMass. Cheers.
I don't have any notes, so this will be quick. But for those of you who didn't get to hear Lily speak last week, I feel like she said all the great words, and I am so proud of you. I would like to tell one story, which was maybe fourth grade. She had a microscope. This probably wouldn't surprise you as a toy. And she was very excited. She called me from upstairs, Mommy, I found something. And she brought her whole microscope. She brought down the stairs, set up on the table to show me. And I looked, and I said, what is it? And she said, it's a bug. And she was very happy. And I looked at the bug, and I looked very closely through the viewfinder, and it was, I know this because I'm a pediatrician, a louse. And I said, okay,
We've all been there.
where did you find this bug? And she said, oh, behind my ear. And I was like, that figures, this is how my daughter tells me she has lice with a microscope. And I feel like it just sort of sums up Lily. Things don't faze her. She wasn't upset by having lice. She wanted to learn more about it. She was investigating. She wanted to share what she knew, and all of her enthusiasm. And I think that one I love. Another one has to do with Bridie. Hopefully she won't mind that I share this story, but we were at soccer, and Bridie's mom told me that Bridie got in trouble because she asked the math teacher if Lily could just teach the math class. And she got sent to the principal. That's not fair.
What principal would do that?
What principal would do that? But my point being that I think over the years, Lily has been she's really generous with herself, and it's been very I mean, I know she's brilliant and fun and very talented, and what a great musician. I feel like we all know that, but what I'm very impressed with you is what a good friend you are and how you take care of people. And it doesn't matter how busy you are, you always have time for your friends, and you always have time to make the world a better place. And I love you so much, and I'm so excited for you.
Cheers, Lily.
And now, that's by popular demand. We have, speaking for all the Sprillo moms, we have one, Tara Condon Ely.
So let's get this party back on track, huh? Wow, I'm like, I think we need an intermission, but maybe not. I promise I will. Shut up. Yes, I'm old, so fuck off. It has often been said that it takes a village to raise a child. Reflecting that we live in the original village of Dedham is not a surprise that this neighborhood takes saying very seriously and possibly too far. We'll let you decide. With the input from our loved ones and all of our hosts, I have come up with, hold on, wrong way. You know you are a child of Sprillo when? Number 1, you survived annual Sprillo block party, jumpy house, and lived to tell about it. It's a Sprillo rite of passage. Number 2, when you knew all about pickleball and how to play it in 2014 before it blew up and the old people found it. If you got hurt, you weren't going to the emergency room. You were going to see Lily's mom, Dr. Hyde, and literally she was going to glue you back together. Rachel, referenced that earlier. Number 4, you knew all Rachel's, aka Princess McGregor's rules. You don't cry in her house, especially if you're carving an effing pumpkin. Not allowed. It would be best if you went home. A nor'easter means an impromptu outside party, complete with heaters, fire pits of plenty, and adult beverages staying cooled in God's freezer, the snow. If you have no idea where your parents are on a Friday night at 5 p.m., but know exactly where to look, start with Fontaine's backyard, then Shumway's, and then move on to Oscar's. You are definitely a child of Sprillo. You are a child of Sprillo if the Sunday morning of the James Joyce Ramble, you already know you will be foraging for food on your own or eating dinner at Oscar's. Number 8, when the adults come to you and require a spicy, skinny margarita, and you're 12. And it's okay, because they're delicious, you're talented, and we ain't driving. Number 9, on the same theme, you know your child is of Sprillo when they get their license and become the designated Sprillo driver to take us outside of Sprillo across Route 1.
Georgia, you've done that.
Thanks, Georgia.
Yep. Thanks, Georgia.
Has picked me up.
Thanks, Georgia.
Yeah.
A carport could be transformed into many things to please the masses. A haunted carport at Halloween, stadium seating for the pickleball matches in the spring, or just a Greek restaurant. You decide. You could fake it. 11, during the pandemic, you knew Thursday night meant that Fontaine's Flames and who to yell at if you didn't make the cut. List was posted at Wednesday at noon, 15 slots, always a nail biter. Yeah. When the rest of the world thinks March 17th is St. Patrick's Day, but in Sprillo, it's St. Rachel's Day. It's her birthday.
Right, Chuck.
Also during the pandemic, neighbors had to gather outdoors to socialize with adult beverages. This was confusing to these children. It was just called Fridays Out Front. The Sprillo holiday season starts with the Sprillo block party in October and ends with Super Bowl. But in the middle, we have Friendsgiving, Christmas parties aplenty, and you don't expect your parents home early or possibly at all. Finally, you know you're a child of Sprillo when multiple families claim you as their own, and all are so very proud of the 3 of you. Especially me, and I had nothing to fucking do with it. Your hard work has led you to the next chapter and to more and more accomplishments and success. In the words of Dr. Seuss, all the places you will go.
Yay!